This evening, Charrandass predicts chaos in Guyana come March 19. He also says Granger should resign for health reasons. Another government ministry to participate in the MASH 49 celebration. Tomorrow, there is a march against child cancer. In the region, Haiti's president refuses to resign amid violent protests. And internationally, Trump declares emergency to build a wall. Greetings to our viewers in Guyana and around the world. Today is Friday, February 15, 2019, and this edition of Headline News is now being streamed live on Facebook and YouTube. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Tomorrow, February 16, 2019, the Giving Hope Foundation and Health and Education Relief Organization for Cancer is holding its third annual Childhood Cancer Awareness Walk. The walk will begin at 6 a.m. from the National Park at the Carifest entrance and end at the parade ground. While they will be celebrating children who survive cancer, they will also be honoring those whom we have lost to childhood cancer. According to Dr. Latoya Gooding, many persons are not aware of childhood cancer. A few short weeks ago, Guyana witnessed the loss of some of its precious angels to that dreaded disease, and so there is need to raise awareness of childhood cancer in Guyana. The Hope Foundation noted that our children are our greatest assets. For information on the march and other related matters, you can contact the Giving Hope Foundation on 227-6588. Charrandass has again taken to social media. The former AFC member who supported the PPP in their no-confidence motion is predicting a dire crisis in Guyana come March 19th. He is also speaking about the health of President David Granger. Wendell Jeffrey is following that development.
My friends, my brothers and sisters, a constitutional crisis is looming. And I will explain why I'm saying this. Because it is something that we should all be concerned about.
Yes. The man who is the most pivotal in causing the downfall of the Granger administration has taken to Facebook in seeking to offer words of caution to the Guyanese people. Charrandass recently posted a video of himself speaking on the issue in what seems to be a statement addressed directly to the supporters of the PNC arm of the coalition.
And please, I want to appeal to my African brothers and sisters. Some of you may hate me because I voted in favor of a no-confidence motion against the government. I have my reasons, and I wouldn't say I had it then, I still have them now, the same reasons.
Putting money.
Even though the former AFC member tried to avoid harping on the reasons for his yes vote in favor of the no-confidence motion, he still proffered an explanation.
This government was not doing what should have been done for the people, but we're not going to go there now.
The attorney at law says that by the failure of the government to resign, they are seeking to create a constitutional crisis and widespread problems in Guyana.
My brothers and sisters, everybody on the government side, the entire cabinet and other members who are not cabinet, and the president are looking to create havoc, mayhem in the country. What is happening now? The Attorney General, a man I can only describe him as a stand-up comedian, he is appealing the ruling of the Chief Justice in the High Court.
Charrandass pointed out in the video that it was the Attorney General Basil Williams and the then acting President Moses Nagamutu who told the nation that the government had fallen.
First of all, it was Basil Williams and Moses Nagamutu who conceded on the night at the press conference that, well, a vote of no confidence is passed, we have to abide by the Constitution and hold election within 90 days.
Charrandass then asked this question.
If he, with all his funny attitude, has not accepted that the president and cabinet should resign, why is he going to the Court of Appeal to ask the Court of Appeal to stay that Article 106.6 that says that the president and cabinet must resign?
Charrandass, who is both a Guyanese and a Canadian citizen, says that the impasse is not political, ethnic, or racial. He said it is constitutional.
This is not about PPP and PNC. This is not about the Indians and the Africans in the country, or the Indians, Africans, Amerindians, and the races. This is not an ethnic fight. This is a constitutional motion. If the present government does not approach the opposition to have a discussion and have the time extended before the 19th, when the 19th comes, 19th of March that is, or the 20th, give them another day, the government itself would be illegal.
Prasad then made a twist, addressing the personal health of President David Granger.
The president cannot claim he's president. He should have resigned. And honestly, David Granger should have resigned for more than just a constitutional article that says he should. The man has been in hospital, traveled to Cuba 6, 7, 8, 9 times or whatever number of times for medical treatment. He should find time, like I'm doing, to look after his health.
Charrandass ended his post on this note.
It is not about blacks or Indians. This is constitutional. This is something that the Constitution has dictated.
For Channel 2 Headline News, Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. The Ministry of Natural Resources unveiled their MASH costume today. Esther Sobers was there and brings us this update.
Has acquired to come down the road.
Joining in on the MASH costume and float parade for Guyana's 49th Mashramani celebration on the 23rd of February is the Ministry of Natural Resources. This morning at the Square of the Revolution, the ministry held their launching with a host of activities to entice the audience before revealing the costumes.
Together. Can we do it? Yes, we can.
The theme for this year's MASH is Celebrate MASH 49 with victory in mind. As the Ministry of Natural Resources unveils their costumes, they are expecting to have 100 strong revelers in their band. The costumes were designed by Nelson Nurse and represents Guyana's pristine forests. There are 8 more days remaining for the Grand Mashramani celebration. Along the routes selected for the parade, preparations are hastily occurring as workers were busy with cleanup exercises, along with ensuring that government buildings were well decorated in time for the celebrations. For Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away. Coming up after the break, Children MASH competition showcases adolescent talents and local composer legend remembered. But first, here are today's foreign currency exchange rates.
For the latest in news from Guyana, the region, and beyond, visit our website, headlinenewsguyana.com.
Hello, baby. Yeah.
Knocked away from Young Huang.
Yo, why you gotta get away from the credit, buddy? I recommend that type of job. Let you actually gain, but it's not you that buy back the credit when it's done. Buy back like a shit money from 5. Fab 5?
Activate the GTT Fab 5 plan today. For only 5,005, you get free unlimited calls to 4 of your closest family and friends, 5 gigs of data plus 250 text messages, and your Fab 5 friends can call you for free. GTT Fab 5.
Wait. So who we putting as we Fab 5? Yours.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Listen and hear me good. It's Mashramani in Guyana, and Clearance got this big mash down sale. Thursday the 24th and Friday the 22nd of February. Half off Nike sneakers, 25% off men's short pants, jeans, jerseys, caps, and selected slippers. 25% off Kenneth Cole and Levi's. Half off selected ladies' jeans, tops, dresses, rompers, loafers, sandals, sneakers. Remember, Thursday the 24th and Friday the 22nd of February. Yes! Clearance, mash down the price for mash! Clearance, always keeping you in style.
Hi, Sean. You buy up a lot of KFC.
Yeah. This is my lunch, 9 pieces.
Oh my God, 4 pieces.
34? No. Don't know my causing problems since last December. Enough more coming too.
In the Caribbean Court of Justice?
No, at the National Culture Center.
What happened in there?
Link show 34 from the 1st to the 4th of March.
Tickets $2,000, $1,500 and $1,000 at KFC outlets at Regent and King Streets and Mandela Avenue and the National Cultural Center.
Welcome back. The National Cultural Center came alive today as the Children MASH competition came to a head. The future of MASH is alive and well, and the competition was stiff. Here again is Esther Sobers.
The 49th Mashramani celebrations are in the air. Children who have been vying for the top spots in the Children Mashramani competition, and those competitions will be coming to an end soon. Today, the students from all 10 administrative regions represented their school with the calypso and dramatic pieces. The competitions are held annually with the support of the Ministry of Education and the Department of Allied Arts. The talented young children performed their individual pieces on stage at the National Cultural Center.
Our Republic celebration are very interesting. People from other countries can start coming in. Victory in our land. It's that love is us. But no drops of oil. I
Another young performer, Brandon Hookum Chan from Seafield Primary, wanted to ensure that the people of his ethnicity are respected, as he did his dramatic piece called Don't Call Me Buck. Some of the judges for the event are Mark Luke Edwards, Hazel Moses, Roshni Prasad, among several others. For Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. We all sing her songs with pride. Oh Beautiful Guyana, Guyana the Free, and Hymn for Guyana's Children, all written by the late Valerie Rodway. She was recently commemorated at a UG function. Wendell Jeffrey files that report.
That and a number of other national songs were written and composed by Valerie Rodway, a native and renowned composer. On Wednesday, the late Rodway was celebrated at a ceremony at the University of Guyana. UG Vice-Chancellor Ivlor Griffith noted that the Guyanese, both at home and abroad, enjoyed those songs, but more especially those who lived abroad.
The meaning of the life and legacy of Valerie Rodway is powerful not only to those of us who have been continuously resident in Guyana, but it has taken an extra special element for those of us who live beyond our shores.
The professor said that Rodway's songs remind Guyanese of the symbols of nationhood.
That attachment to the symbols of nationhood, the symbols that identify the prospects of building identity, building tomorrow.
Rodway's niece, Cicely Govaya, also paid a tribute to her.
During the 1960s, Val composed most of her music. This was a period of preparation for Guyana's independence and resulted in the creation of stirring poems by some of Guyana's most favored.
Valerie Rodway, who was born in East Quarantine Berbice, wrote some 20 national songs, including Canaima, Oh Beautiful Guyana, Guyana the Free, and the Hymn for Guyana's Children.
With humble hearts and heads bowed down, in thanks for each new day of toil, we kneel before thine altar, Lord, the children of Guyana soil.
For Channel 2 Headline News, Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. Don't go away. Coming up after the break, Haiti's president refuses to resign amid deadly protests, and Trump declares an emergency to build a wall. But before that, here's this week's British Action schedule.
What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you have a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Listen and hear me good. It's Mashramani in Guyana, and Clarence got this big mash down sale. Thursday the 24th and Friday the 22nd of February. Half off night sneakers. 25% off men's short pants, jeans, jerseys, caps, and selected slippers. 25% off Kenneth Cole and Levi's. Half off selected ladies' jeans, tops, dresses, rompers, loafers, sandals, sneakers. Remember, Thursday the 24th and Friday the 22nd of February. Yes! Clearance, mash down the price for mash! Clearance, always keeping you in style.
Hi, Sean. You buy up a lot of KFC.
Yeah. This is my lunch, 9 pieces.
With all of my 34 pieces.
34? No. Don't know because of problems since last December. Enough more coming too.
In the Caribbean Court of Justice.
No, at the National Culture Center.
What happened in there?
Link show 34 from the 1st to the 4th of March.
Tickets $2,000, $1,500 and $1,000 at KFC outlets at Regent and King Streets and Mandela Avenue and the National Cultural Center.
Switch over to GTT right now, no. Because all this time and money I waste on a calls alone can just send up my blood pressure.
You've come to the right place.
Really?
Once you're switched over with our network, you can activate our Fab 5 plan. With our Fab 5 plan, you can enjoy free unlimited calls with 4 family and friends.
You got to be kidding me.
You will also get 5 gigabytes of data with 250 text messages.
You got to be kidding me.
And your chosen 4 can also call you for free.
You got to be kidding me.
Activate the GTT Fab 5 plan today. For only $5,005, you get free unlimited calls to 4 of your closest family and friends, 5 gigs of data plus 250 text messages, and your Fab 5 friends can call you for free. GTT Fab 5.
Welcome back. Now for regional news. A week after demonstrations began demanding Jovenel Moise's resignation, the Haitian president has refused to quit. At least 8 people have been killed in the protests. Haitians are angry about rising prices and corruption. Opposition leaders says they will continue to demand Moise's resignation. Al Jazeera Manuel Rapallo reports.
The streets of Port-au-Prince are quiet. But many fear the violence, which has gripped the country for more than a week, could begin again at any moment. The anger here stems from a government audit, which discovered more than $2 billion in development funds are unaccounted for. The money in question was part of an oil assistance program called Petrocaribe.
The Petrocaribe Fund comes from an initiative from Venezuela's former president, Hugo Chavez. He wanted to have South-South cooperation with countries in Latin America, Haiti, Dominican Republic. But what happened is that they have been spending that money, and years later we realized that all those projects that they were supposed to realize, they didn't realize them.
Evidence of mismanaged funds can be seen across the country in unfinished infrastructure projects like this half-built overpass. Even renovation of the National Parliament building, a multi-million-dollar effort financed in part with Petrocaribe money, is still far from completed, more than 7 years since construction began. Making his first public appearance since the protests started on February 7th, President Jovenel Moïse condemned the violence on the streets but didn't outline any steps toward finding a resolution. Rodway, an aide to the Haitian president, says the flames of the discontent are being fanned by the president's political opponents.
Haitian politicians always want to get rid of the president after a year or two. That's why we have this chronic instability. The president wants and is open to have a frank dialogue.
While the latest protests in Haiti are linked to the Petrocaribe scandal, discontent with the government has been mounting since the aftermath of the 2010 earthquake, where more than 100,000 people were killed. With widespread poverty, a declining economy, and new evidence of systemic corruption, anger finally reached a boiling point on the streets of the Haitian capital. We're in downtown Port-au-Prince, where there's an uneasy calm as people pick up the pieces after more than a week of protests. There's still roadblocks set up that are preventing the free flow of traffic, and a tension that seems to suggest that the unrest may not be over just yet. Anti-government demonstrators have renewed calls for more protests, continuing to demand the resignation of the president, a condition that Moïse has made no indication of accepting. The more moderate figures of the opposition are calling for a national dialogue, one that includes voices from all sectors of Haitian society. However, it remains to be seen if both sides will be able to find a lasting resolution to the ongoing political crisis. Manuel Rapalo, Al Jazeera, Port-au-Prince.
And in international news, the National Emergencies Act grants U.S. presidents certain powers during times of national crisis. However, President Trump is using that act among rising controversies. France 24 News reports.
The National Emergencies Act grants the U.S. president certain powers during times of national crisis, freeing the White House from many legal checks on the executive branch. Since the law was updated in 1978, 58 national emergencies have been declared. Perhaps the most well-known use of the act was President Franklin D. Roosevelt's order to intern more than 110,000 Japanese Americans after the 1941 attack on Pearl Harbor. George W. Bush also invoked emergency powers in the wake of the September 11th attacks, signing off on extensive wiretapping and enhanced interrogation methods. And Barack Obama used it during the H1N1 flu epidemic. Donald Trump says migrant crossings at the country's southern border constitutes a national security crisis. Using the act gives him access to billions of dollars to fund his border wall. Critics have accused the president of attempting to use the act as a blank check to get what he wants by circumventing Congress. And Republicans are worried this could set a dangerous precedent that could also eventually benefit Democratic presidents.
The president and the White House have seen a really strong backlash from Republicans in Congress saying, look, we really don't love the emergency declaration idea because what happens if there's a Democrat in power? You know, you could have somebody, new president, who decided, for instance, to declare global warming a national emergency, and we're concerned about that kind of use of executive authority.
But the National Emergencies Act can be blocked. Congress can terminate it if both houses vote for it, and the president doesn't issue a veto. If there's a presidential veto, it can still be stopped by a congressional supermajority. What's more likely is the act would get bogged down in court, with lawsuits which could go all the way to the Supreme Court. That's what happened to President Harry Truman when he tried to nationalize the steel industry during the Korean War.
Here's the 3-day weather forecast. that's Channel 2 Headline News for this Friday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 Headline News on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, headlinenewsguyana.com. You can also tune in Sunday morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast and Monday evening at 7 for more news. For now, I am Bibi Backus signing out from your newscasting. Thank you for staying tuned and do have a blessed weekend.